Hey everyone, here we are finally to the job of replacing the radiator and the fan hub. That maybe there's nothing wrong with the old one, but we want to do a bit of R&D. So I'm going to 430 odd thousand kilometers. I want to put a new one on. I'm going to put a new radiator in, even though there's any corrosion there. Or how's that genuine coolant been working out for me? It's looking pretty good to me, but we'll get the radiator out. There's nothing wrong with it. We'll give it a clean up and probably regret changing it, but it'll be there for a spare. And if anybody can't afford $880 for a new genuine radiator, maybe I'll sell you this one for $220. So you can get an El Cheapo aftermarket one, or you can probably get a really good one for $220. But anyway, perfectly good, especially if you're not traveling thousands of kilometers a remote area of Australia. And that's why I'm changing it to just a preventative thing. Probably nothing wrong with it, no leaks, but it's about 15, 16 years. So I just want a new one, same as this. So I'll have a good spare one of these if I don't wreck it. That's the fan hub, belongs down there. But we are going to pull it apart, do a bit of R&D, a bit of servicing. We've got the oil here for the fan hub. I'm not telling you what to do at this stage. We'll get to that. We'll see what happens in this video. Just letting you know what we're planning to do with the old hub. Bit of R&D, research and tell you. R&TU, wasn't it called? I haven't used that one for years, have I? R&TU, put it in the comments. Beautiful. And it must be the week for preventative maintenance for vehicles that do big trips in traveling out back of Australia, because this client, we've just done injectors as prevention for the second time. The first one was messed up by you know who, the big reputable place that you can trust everywhere around Australia. We fixed that up 200,000 Ks ago. Obviously, and now it's here for injectors as prevention again at 270K. BFE job's done, and a turbo. Nothing wrong with it either. Well, maybe there is, but look, the point is, if you do have problems with a turbo and you can't afford a new one, we've got a few around that might be okay. You know what I mean? They're going to be anything between cheap, free, or cheap, just depending which turbo it is that's available at the time, how many Ks, whatever. It is good to recover some of the money for the people's turbos if we can. And of course, we've got to pack them and send them and that sort of thing anyway. So possibly no guarantee, all care, no responsibility. If you want a guarantee, then I can get you a new one. I've got those on the shelf, like for this one. But just having a bit of a look around, you can see some of the things that need to be removed to replace the turbo. But that's not this video, so back to the other vehicle. So back to this job, what we're going to be doing is going to get the header tank out, the fan shroud, the radiator hoses, and the radiator out. On this one, it's not going to get the water pump replaced. It's going to get the timing belt, the oil, the tensioner, and a nice clean up under there, the molly coat on there. All right, so we'll get the timing belt done. We'll swap over that fan hub with a new fan. What happens with this one, not that I rev it much, but sometimes when you want to get going and you do push it beyond about 3,000 RPM, the fan's really loud, like a 747, getting ready for takeoff. And to be honest, all the other 120s I drive that are just like this, generally they don't do that. So maybe there's an issue with the fan hub. So hopefully that is a solution for that fan noise. And hopefully it just works in peak condition because it's a new one, right? But of course, then we've got an old one, so we want to have a look what's wrong with it. Is there any oil left? Is it all gone? Is fixing up the oil going to make it better and solve the problem? So then eventually we'll have to get that fan hub off this vehicle onto another one, maybe when somebody's got a problem or if they're not sure, and we can take it for a drive and we'll know. R&TU again, research and tell you whether it worked or not. Those little bottles, they're only about $10 each. You need a couple of those. And yeah, this radiator could be handy for someone as well. So at the moment, I probably wouldn't let it go for less than $220 because it's a spare and I don't have spare radiators. It gets us out of trouble by having it handy around one of the workshops if something happens with someone's radiator. Often cars come in and we do see a lot. So take this top cover off like I have now and have a look along the seams at the top and bottom, each side of the radiator down there. Then you'll see more when you get the fan shroud off. So it's a matter of carefully removing this clip, that hose. This hose can come off with the tank. I'm going to replace this hose as well. I've got that one there. There it is. There's the new one. All right. That's the other end. Yep, this is the radiator end. Yep, that's it. Obviously, and there's the part number for the 120. I don't know if the 150 is the same. Probably a little bit different, so don't get too excited. And of course, the genuine radiator's there, ready for action as well. We're not going to go through too much of the how to do it type stuff here because we've covered that. If you look in the BFE playlist, things like removing this tank, you can see quite obviously a 10mm bolt there. There's one at the other side. There's another one down below here. The fan shroud's held by this 10mm bolt, another one over the other side, and it clips in a bit further down. There's the hose. See this hose here on the bottom of the tank? Take the clip off, whatever, that'll lift the tank out, but then you need to access further down. There's a clip on that hose where it clips into the fan shroud down the bottom. A little bit fiddly to get to. There's a few different ways to do it. You can check the videos or just figure it out. You can get inside on the fan side, squeeze the clip. You can get down there. You can actually open up the clip, so you can remove the whole clamp clip arrangement out of the fan shroud, or you can just open it up, whatever works for you. Have a look down the bottom next to your bash plate, you know, right down the bottom there from in front of the wheel. Have a look in there. Depends what bash plate. If you've got aftermarket bash plates, you could probably reach in there a bit better than the factory ones. This will also get the main drive belt and the bearings. And then once we get it all back together with a new radiator, we'll have to reset the transmission fluid level ideally. So therefore, we'll just give it a transmission flush. So it's also going to get an oil and filter change. They'll have all new oils, maybe even a power steering fluid flush. That's that one just over there, right? That thing there. And new coolant, new everything, new coolant, new transmission oil, new engine oil, new power steering oil, and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I might make a little start on this. Now, if you're wondering how the radiator's mounted, if you have a look around, depends what bull bar, and the 120s are easier than the 150s, but that's one of your mounty bolts right there. So that 12mm there, and there's another one further down, a little bit dark down there, but you'll figure it out. Down in there somewhere in the darkness, right, in that little hole. Just to work out where it is, it's pretty obvious, right, because you can see the top one comes through there. So if you look further down, you'll see the back of the other one, and you'll go, oh, must be down there somewhere. You'll figure it out, right? I'll turn the light on and show you a little bit more detail in a minute. But so you can see the bolt, that's that side there. Light on helps, doesn't it, right? So I'll get a bit sideways and have a look. Let's have a look down about there. There you go, how about that one? Right in the hole there. I'll just back it off so as you can see, right? So in that hole there, that's why there's a little slot cut for you. Pretty straightforward on the 120 because there's no intercooler or anything like that in the way. Well, there is an intercooler, but it's up there where it belongs, not down there, collecting all the bugs and all the flexible hoses and things in the way. I do sort of prefer the top mount intercooler, and I don't see any extra performance out of the front mount really. Both engines have got the same output, you know, 127 kilowatts and 410 Newton meters in Australia. So whatever it is, yeah, just be careful with your auto lines, disconnecting those. You don't want to get dirt and debris in there. There's no auto cooler here, no need. Kept the torque converter lock, it runs at beautiful temperatures, and we've got the scan gauge there to monitor any of that and make sure that's what's happening. So I think we'll get to with removing this sort of stuff in the top radiator hose, and bada bing, give you some more info as it happens. So I think what we'll do is we'll wrap this one up and say subscribe, turn the bell on, and all the information will be in the upcoming videos. Bada bing, bada boom. Catch on those. It's bada bing, bada boom, all right? Bada bing, bada boom, all right? You got it?